and welcome. You're watching the weekly edition of Your Trades on ET Now with me, Snehisha, and with me is my co-anchor Priyanka. Well, let's take a look at how the market shaped up over the course of the week. And when we look at Friday's trading session, we did start off strong, but then rather subdued session coming in for us because Nifty ended with a 0.5% downtick. For the week, then you have Nifty that hit record high this week, but managed to close down 2% on a weekly basis. It snapped the 4-week gaining streak, and NTPC and Tata Steel were the biggest losers on the Nifty. Well, that was the market check that happened over the course of the week. Nifty IT lost its winning streak. Nifty Realty was the top sectoral loser this week as well, dragged by Swan Energy and Soba. But let's also take a look at all the other important news and the big events that we did have over the course of the week. And you had a whole bunch of mutual fund houses that submitted their stress test reports on Friday, and we did see the number of days it would take them to liquidate their mid-cap and small-cap portfolios, 50% and 25% each. Moving on then, the other important news was British American Tobacco that sold 3.5% stake in ITC via block deal, and more than 30 institutional buyers subscribed to it as well. So that was another market-moving event. Next up, we had petrol and diesel prices that was slashed by 2 rupees per litre across India. So that was a blow coming in for your oil marketing companies like HPCL, BPCL and IOL as well. And well, Government of India also gave the green light to the new EV policy, and this is also on the buzz that Tesla may be making its foray into India pretty soon. But yes, these were all the big events that took place over the course of the week. But Priyanka, take us through more, because we had a lot of other events also that happened.
Yes, major of them coming in from as in terms of economic data, not from India but globally also. But then let's talk about Paytm first. Paytm, which got the NCPI nod to become a third-party app, and then certainly the metal stocks did saw hammering this week. But then at the same time, copper price rallied. At LME, copper prices were trading at 11 months high, and so was the surge in Hindustan Copper. Today also, Hindustan Copper was one of the gainer. But at the same time, iron ore prices, they fell to a 6 months low prices. But then talking about the CPI data for India, which eased to 5.09. In February, Jan IP growth was seen at 3.8%, but not a relief coming in from US markets, because we saw US inflation, which was 3.2% in February. It was higher than expected. Not just CPI, in fact, PPI also came in hot, and post that we saw a slump in not just US market, European and even the Asian markets where. This was more on the front of the top headlines, but then let's take you further. Where is the market taking direction further, and what are the fundamentals trigger one can look at? For this, joining me in special conversation is Ajay Bagga to give us more on the fundamental side, chairman of Elements platform, and also we have Rajesh Palviya to give us a technical view on the markets. A very warm welcome. Good afternoon to both of you. Firstly, a very quick question to Mr. Bagga. Mr. Bagga, because we saw that the reason was, of course, majorly dominated because of the mid-cap and small-cap, and also a macro reason is also there, which is worrying markets. Ahead of us is now Fed policy next week, and Fed meeting is ahead of us, where we would also look for some comments. Global markets will take a direction from the comments here, and what do you think lies ahead for Indian markets also? Any respite coming in for small and mid-cap sectors?
Yeah, definitely the market moving event will be on Wednesday when the Fed policy comes out. And basically, it will be the fifth pause in a row. But what will be critical is the commentary on, and especially the dot plot. So their view on the GDP growth, on inflation, and the timing of the rate cut, and how many rate cuts are they seeing. So the dot plot will give us an idea of that. The market had seen the December dovish policy as a big move up, and from 3 rate cuts, markets had factored in 6 rate cuts this year. Now we are back to sanity, and we are looking at 2 to 3 rate cuts by December. So this dot plot will be very critical. I think that's the market moving theme next week. In terms of India, it is more, some amount of regulatory communication, regulatory action that led to a small sell-off. But, we have done very well as a market, and especially in the mid-cap and small-cap segments, we have had very good returns. So some steam being let off, nothing much to worry about. And it might continue for a couple of months now. Elections getting announced over the weekend. And till the new government comes in. you might see a sideways market, but I don't foresee too much of a risk in these markets. It's definitely not a bubble, though it is at higher valuations than 10-year averages, but it's not reached bubble territories. And this correction has been good for the markets. It's shaken out weak hands. There's a lot of liquidity sitting on the sidelines waiting to enter, both from the foreign flows as well as domestic savings. So we are not expecting a very big sell-off here in the markets, and we could actually see a recovery as early as next week.
Mr. Bagga, thanks for that view coming in, a positive view coming in, saying we could see a recovery as early as next week. So, well, that's some positivity coming in. But Mr. Palviya, let me come to you and let's talk about the IT sector, because that has been the only sector that has managed to gain on a weekly basis, up 1% over the course of last week, despite a market like this. Now, IT is traditionally a defensive sector. So, do you think this is where investor portfolios should be seeking shelter amid such a volatile market? And large cap or mid cap IT, which one would be your pick?
Good afternoon. Yeah, so we have seen some recovery in most of the large cap IT stocks, stock like TCS, HCL Tech, Wipro. These all stocks have shown buying interest, but in today's session, some profit taking was there. But looking at the overall structure for IT index, we believe that if it's continues to hold above 36,900, then possible continuity of this uptrend we can see going forward in Nifty IT, and possibly once we able to take out 37,800, then possibly this rally can extend to 38,250 kind of zone. So here our preferred choice from IT sector would be on the from large cap space, that is TCS is our first choice to buy, as overall structure is bullish and stock is almost trading to its all-time high trajectory. And even if you look at the weekly structure also, stock managed to give breakout of last 5-week consolidation. So we believe that if TCS continues to hold above 4150 kind of level, then this momentum can extend and we can see further higher level towards 4400 to 45,000 or 4500 kind of level also for TCS. Even another stock, HCL Tech, is also looking promising, though some profit taking was there at higher level, but still almost stock is trading and hovering around its all-time high trajectory only, and stock is consolidating in very narrow price range since last 3-4 weeks. We believe that once stock crosses above 1680, 1690 kind of zone, then this really can extend in HCL Tech also, and possible target we can see towards 1800. So TCS, HCL Tech as well as Wipro, these three stocks one can look to buy from large cap IT side, and from mid cap IT space we believe that Coforge is another stock where one can look to buy this stock in decline, though there was a corrective move is taking place in this stock. But I think stock is now trading near to its important support area of 6050. That is important level in this decline. If it's hold those level, I think some pullback action we can see.
All right. Thanks very much for giving us a view on IT and the recommendations also. Since we are very short on time, thanks very much, Mr. Ajay, for joining us. And Rajesh, thanks very much for the picks on the IT sector. Well, that's all in this edition of Weekly Wrap. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned to ET Now for more updates.